Smash that limiter!
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Oh my God, Spliffy, we did it!
We did it?
Yeah, first episode where the mics didn't fuck up, the audio didn't fuck
Oh.
up. Wow. Wow, it only took fucking, how many episodes are we in? 48.
48?
Yeah.
Let's see how long we can get with our
Oh.
scuff.
Yeah, so we're doing the podcast a little bit early today because I am going to go out today on an adventure. I need to do some driving in my car because I haven't been driving my car very much this week because I have been doing something that I never thought that I'd be doing, and that is I am riding my push bike to work.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I want to get fitter so then that way when next time footy season comes on, when I go for a run on training nights, I don't feel like I'm dying. So
Yeah.
Push bike riding to work is a good way of doing it. I'm not going to do it on extreme weather days, but yeah.
Well, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
They
I could also
invented cars
walk
for a
work.
reason. They're essentially a mobile house.
Yeah. And because of that, I'm not driving my car very much, which means I'm not using that much fuel. However, if you own a full drive or any sort of car and you're doing minimal driving, you should at least take it for a good solid drive once a week. So then that way you can get all the oils up to temperature and get everything all running good in Mickey Mouse. I see customers' cars too often that haven't been driven that much, and yeah, kilometer-wise looks good, but age-wise the car looks like exactly how old it is. So mechanically as well, they leak a lot quicker because, you know, they're sitting more, therefore they're not moving more, which means things aren't getting lubricated, and it actually can damage your car two ways. You can damage your car using it a lot, or using it not enough. Yeah, you gotta sit in that happy medium, you know.
Oh dear.
That's the reason why people that hire those high expensive cars, they'll like once a week they'll just turn it on in their garage and let it run for a bit and then turn it off.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I'm drinking my coffee. And
how do you like your coffee? I'm curious.
So I like my coffee flat white. So two sugars, two coffee. I just have instant. Yep. But I have been eyeing off an automated coffee machine.
Oh.
They look fucking good. I can show you it. It's expensive though.
Yeah, of course.
There's two of them, but yeah. Continue.
Here's an interesting. So my auntie is over in America at the moment, and one question we asked her what the coffee culture was like, and one word, dreadful.
Oh, they
their coffee, from what she described, was dirty water, essentially.
Yep.
Which in Australia, it's the coffee culture in Australia is so good that Starbucks failed when it tried to actually launch in Australia because our coffee was too good.
Starbucks is fucking crap.
Yeah. I just find the whole thing really amusing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it now.
I do like coffee.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
All right, so the prices are different to what I can get it at. I can get it a lot cheaper, but I'll show you. So so we're up. Hang on, just go to properties and fucking just give me a sec. It's here we go. So I've been doing a lot of research. Philips automatic coffee machines, they can't get the milk frothing right. So a lot of people say DeLonghi's the best one, and they're still made in Italy, which is pretty good. So they're made with good quality parts. And all the reviews on them have been like, as you can see, they've been pretty good. And people in Australia in particular are very snobby when it comes to coffee.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I've been looking at like these two machines here, which on Amazon you can get them for like $500.
That's not too bad, actually.
Yeah, it's not too bad
for what it is.
Yeah, what it is. So basically, you this is the one that I've been looking at. So you've got your options for coffee, and then you fill the beans up in here. It's also everything can be taken apart, which is really cool.
Oh, good, which is great for cleaning.
So it's cleaning
because that's like one of my biggest concerns is cleaning. It's like, how the hell do you clean all this stuff if it's together?
Anyway, and this is the milk frother here. So this whole thing comes out so you can clean it as well. So you can take the whole thing apart and clean it in the sink,
Oh,
which is
nice.
also, again, really good. Because I prefer that over the steamer. You know, you just chuck the pitcher of
Yeah.
milk in it. I don't like that. I like this thing because this does it all automatically. So you just get your selection of what coffees you want and just press the button and then away you go.
That makes more sense in
Yeah.
my mind because if you use steam, you have to calcify. Yeah, you got to
Yeah, well, it
decalcify it.
still steams, but it runs. This plugs in and it will shoot the steam through this, which will froth it,
Oh,
and then it spins a little thing around down there and it froths it, and then it feeds it in there. So it still steams, but it's not something that's physically put into the milk, if you know what I mean. It just shoots
yeah,
steam
yeah.
down a channel instead. So you don't get the milk and the calcification mixing. This is where the milk is stored. The milk doesn't go inside the machine ever.
Yeah.
And then the water, that bit there's the water, and then the dump tray is behind in there. So it's very simple to See, look, so you just press it. You've got cappuccinos, flats. You can also do hot water for tea, which a lot of coffee machines don't do that. These are all like the compartments taken out and cleaning.
Nice.
So it's yeah, I really like it.
Maybe I should get one of these.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking because like the pod machines are just as expensive as these too. So like, what would you rather? Would you rather proper?
Or pod machines can get stuffed.
Yeah, because like the worst thing about pod machines is the pods are more expensive. Like, yeah, coffee beans are expensive, but like one bag will last you like ages.
Yeah, last you a long time.
Yeah,
I think 1 kilo bag for me lasts, I don't know, at least a couple of months at least.
yeah. You can also get these ones here. This one's really interesting. So it does more options of coffees.
Yeah.
Obviously more expensive, but the reason why this is more expensive is because this does hot and cold.
Oh,
Yeah, so
would you drink cold coffee?
it does tea as well, so you can do iced tea,
But
or you can do chocolate and stuff like that as well. Like,
yeah, would you drink it though?
I would have probably a nice coffee. I reckon would be quite nice. You know, that's the cold one. It actually literally says on there, and that's for the hot one.
Yeah.
I would maybe use it, but I think I'd just rather go with the one thing that's cool about this one. It has many options,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, look at that. That one comes with a fucking.
I only personally need one option. That's cappuccino.
Yeah, that's the same with me, and this one can do cappuccino, as you can see it there. So
Yeah.
I will get this one eventually. This is the one I want.
Yeah.
And I can do tea with it as well. And so instead of boiling the kettle, I'll just use this. Because this boils a lot faster than the kettle does. So,
All right.
yeah. It's actually pretty quick. It makes a coffee in like 2 minutes, minute and a half.
That's a lot better than my French press.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as fast as instant. Nothing will ever be as fast as
Oh,
instant.
no.
But you can
But
also
it's gonna
use this
taste a lot better.
Yeah, you can also use instantness if you just use a hot function if you really want to, but you know it's kind of a waste of money buying
Yeah,
an
it's kind of
$800 coffee
no
machine
point
and
in
just buying
going.
instant coffee in it. But you also got these ones as well, which are cheaper. The only difference between this one and the other one is just doesn't look as fancy. I think it's an older model.
Oh, who cares?
But yeah, it does the exact same thing. I mean, you got your cappuccino mix, your espresso, hot water.
It lives in your kitchen. That's it.
Yeah. The only reason why I would go for these ones over that one is purely because I know that these ones long term, like people have had them for like 5 years and haven't had issues with them. So
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why. I do like the black over the titanium though. Silver's kind of hard to pull off in a kitchen. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I can see why you would think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got like a lot of industrial kitchens are all stainless steel, so you got different shades of gray.
Yeah.
In a kitchen, I suppose if you were being particularly OCD about it.
Yeah, exactly. Where black kind of goes in a lot of kitchens because usually
It
if your
goes
kitchen's
anywhere.
white, if your kitchen's blue, kitchen's black, it's just a neutral color that kind of works.
The only place that that doesn't really work is that if you've got a variety of colors in your kitchen and you just
Yeah.
introduce black, it's sort of a little bit left
Yeah,
of
a little
field
bit,
in that
yeah.
regard.
But also,
'Cause
black doesn't show up nowhere near as bad dirty. Like the silver's always, because my parents were given for Christmas a barista machine. So you know the old traditional one where you get the cup and you fill your beans in there and you do that like an actual barista machine.
Oh yeah.
And that thing is to show dirt, dust so badly, especially since my parents hardly ever use it because it is a prick to clean. And
Right.
it's like, it takes like 5 to 6 minutes to fucking make 1 cup of coffee. No one's got
Oh.
time for that. Yeah. It's like proper barista machine, and they just stopped using it, and my oldest brother ended up taking it. Because they
Yeah.
just never use it. Instead, they just got the pod machines. And we got a pod machine as well, but I even hardly ever use that. And the only reason why I
Yeah.
hardly ever use it is because I have to clean it every time I use it. Which that machine, I would still have to clean it, but it wouldn't be nowhere near as bad because I would probably use it a lot more often because the pod machine actually takes time to use it because I have to froth my milk separately. So I have to buy my own pitcher, and then I have to heat up the milk, and because I drink with almond milk because I'm lactose intolerant. It's another whole ordeal where like that thing I just pour the almond milk in the frother and let it do its thing. And you can froth almond milk. The trick is with frothing almond milk, you get it nice and hot, which that machine can do because I've seen people talk about using almond and soy milk and stuff like that. So it does do it. So, but yeah, I just want ease of use, man.
You had to buy. Oh,
Buy what?
buy what?
Buy the coffee machine. I'm gonna save up for it. It's gonna be like one of those back burner things. It's gonna be like.
I mean, now that you're not driving your
picture.
car. Oh.
Yeah. Ray bought it.
Oh. That's what Ray was referring to.
Yeah. But even that was hard to find. Like Ray and I like spent ages trying to find the fucking thing too.
All right.
Yeah, like to find a microwavable safe picture is a pain in the ass. So, and it's actually not a picture; it's actually a coffee press. Well, it's not a coffee press. It's a tea. It's a tea jug, and we just take the lid off.
Yeah, you can still use it for coffee.
It's microwavable safe, so tea steeper. Yeah, that's what it's called. But yeah, no, I really like the idea of an automated one because the one at work, because my boss has a pod machine and it's got a frother steamer on it as well.
Yeah,
and like he paid around the price of that, and like it doesn't take them long to make coffees, but they look so good. Oh, you got the computer. How did you do it? So Ray had computer issues. She had code 44 showing on her computer. Which is
put
AMD
in one
things.
RAM stick.
Yeah, bad
RAM stick. Yeah.
Oh, really? So one failed. Oh, that sucks. But that's
gotta get more RAM.
That's expected for T-Force. So Delta T-Force isn't actually that reliable as a RAM, but unfortunately, it's the one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's the one that works the best with AMD.
Well, obviously not, because the computer doesn't turn on.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with the computer. It's to do with the quality of their RAM sticks. That's the problem.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's obviously not reliable enough to be good enough for AMD, regardless of whether it's good for AMD or not.
It sucks because Corsair, right? This just doesn't make sense. Corsair RAM sticks are reliable. Like they will last.
They are very reliable.
They will last you for years. But AM5 platform struggles with Corsair RAM.
Why is that?
I have no fucking idea. You put a Corsair RAM stick in it and it'll work for ages, and then all of a sudden it won't work. And the RAM works fine because if you put it in like an Intel platform or another computer, it will be fine. But for some reason, AM5
It just sounds like a bug they got to work out.
Yeah, it is. AM5 is real finicky and picky with its RAM. I think it's got to do with its RAM training thing. It's just they really it's not as bad as it was, but it's still like pretty bad. Like you can't have more than one RAM stick in the AM5 platform and have good stability. Like it just shits itself all the time. So you're better off with two sticks, like just one DIMM being used.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like that, but yeah, they really need to fix it. I hope they fix it with the new AM5 boards, and then hopefully they bring that fix out to the to like Ryzen Mine's AM5 platform. Because I love AMD, I hate Intel. But I have to agree though, if you are not, this is my advice to anyone who's looking to buy a computer. If you are not technical savvy and you have no fucking clue what a computer is or what any components are or how to troubleshoot or any of that, do not buy AMD. Buy Intel. Because Intel is the safe bet when it comes to simplicities. It just works. You don't usually have issues with it that often. I mean, yeah, they did have the issue with the CPUs catching on fire, but
yeah, and the CPU is breaking itself.
Yeah, that usually you don't have to deal with on a like grand
not
scale.
Normally.
Yeah, not normally. Usually that happens with people that are overclocking as well. So or the higher end Intel CPUs that generally the average people aren't going to buy. They're going to either buy i5 or i7. But anyway, AM5
I've had
is for those who are tech savvy. I would not recommend anybody who isn't interested in computer stuff or understands computer stuff to buy AM5. Because it does shit like what it did with Ray today. It would just like you would turn on and then suddenly it just won't work properly and something will go wrong and then you have to go through a whole heap of troubleshooting to get it working again. When it works, it's brilliant. It's easy to use when it works, but it just has quirks that I just wouldn't recommend for a non-tech savvy person. Unless you got AM4 like Spliffy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no dramas.
I've upgraded a couple of things on my computer. I've upgraded my boot drive and general hard disk drive, and my RAM stick, and I've only ever used Corsair RAM sticks.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem with my computer. My computer's never shat itself.
I still to this day believe AM4 is a better platform than AM5.
I think so. Like I've always, well, I mean, I'm always skeptical when new things come out because, like, you know, there's only so much you can test for, and you know, you're one facility with what 250, well, at most 1,000 people. You release that out to the public, and all of a sudden, you've got like what over 1 billion testers. All of a sudden, so you're gonna come across. They're gonna come across something that you just no way in 1,000 years you would have come across.
Well, put it this way, Spliffy, your motherboard can have a 2024 AM4 RAM, like because AM4 is still continuing on. AMD came out and bought out new AM4 CPUs because
I've still got the first generation.
Yeah, so you could just take that first generation CPU out and put a more modern one, and then suddenly you're in the same league as me and Ray with an upgraded GPU if you wanted.
Yeah, I found my computer to be just so reliable that just like I don't really feel the need to upgrade.
Yeah, well, that's
still
it. If you don't need to, then you don't have to. The thing I had to because I had a laptop.
Well, you had to. You literally, you needed a desktop, and you didn't have one.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why I did this. I mean, and what I did was not what I would advise anyone to do. I instead of having a dream car, I had a dream computer. that was what I had, and I've envisioned this computer. And I've been researching it for years. And by years, I mean years. Like, I've been following the trends and keeping up to date with the computers, like the hardware. And like, there was so many points where I was like, am I going to go Intel? Am I going to AM5? What am I going to do? Then they brought out the AM5 7800 X3D. And I'm just like, that's what I want. And then GPUs was a dilemma. I was like, am I going to get a 4080? And then I was looking at the price. I'm like, it's not really worth it. Do I care about ray tracing? No, I don't give a fuck about ray tracing. I hate it when they do comparisons. They use ray tracing because ray tracing is a gimmick. because you can get the same effect of ray tracing just using shaders. Like, you don't need ray tracing. It's just fucking gimmick. Like, there's a reason why hardly any games use it.
Yeah, because it actually has to be coded. It can't. It's not like,
Yeah, it's not.
yay,
Yeah,
just turn the button on and it
like
works.
all the ray tracing in Minecraft is using shaders, like specific shaders, and you can use a non-ray trace. Like your graphics card can do ray tracing without ray tracing cores, just by simply using shaders, which then put the calculations for the GPU to then do it stock standard. Basically, it's like, okay, when the light's at this angle, it does this and this and this and this. And then the computer does it because it's in the code for the standard GPU cores to be able to read. Like the standard cores that it normally uses, and it's much stabler doing it that way too, because ray tracing is buggy as fuck. The fact that they have to have generated frames like FSR and what's the Intel one again? I can't remember what it is, or the NVIDIA one. It's FSR and fuck, what do they call it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. Basically, like, it's generating artificial frame rates.
Right.
So instead of, like, say for example, you got ray tracing 4K on, right? And you're getting 30 frames per second, standard. You turn this function on, it will generate artificial. I'm explaining it really poorly, by the way, but it generates artificial frames to then make the frame rate go from 30 to a playable 60 on an extreme end. It doesn't usually do it that well, but that's essentially what it does. Yeah.
You would have to be, you can't have imaginary frames because the frames have to be, generated in some capacity.
Yeah, so it's artificially done. So it will take the information that you've got and then it will generate these frames according to the information that you've got to then sort of fill the gaps to make it more smooth, essentially.
Right.
That they had to basically bring that out for ray tracing, because when you started ray tracing on, it just tanked your FPS. So by having that enabled, it makes it playable, essentially. Some titles you don't need it, like even Hogwarts. Like Hogwarts, you can get 60 frames at 4K with ray tracing on. But having that actually helps. AMD's always been behind by like one generation to NVIDIA, which makes sense because NVIDIA started it first. But to be honest, I have ray tracing capabilities on my 79 XTX and I never use it. And I don't even use the frame generation. I don't use FSR either. I just raw potential power. And so,
which is preferable in all honesty.
Which price per dollar, like price per frame of generation that these things do, this thing shits all on the 4080. And then you get some people like, oh, but the drivers are shit. It's always on launch. Whenever something is launched and is new, of course the drivers are shit because there are none. Game developers need to have the hardware available to be able to generate the drivers. Not everybody can afford the fucking to get access to it, to pay for it access early. Like, it takes time and research to get it all done. Like, that's why you never buy things brand new. You wait a little while, then you get it. And
you always buy last year's technology.
Yeah, and NVIDIA was the exact same. When the 40 series came out, it was buggy on game release as well. But this thing can play Star Citizen without any issues at all. Since I've built it, I've been playing Star Citizen a lot. I have not had a single graphics or CPU related blockage to cause me issues in the game. The only issues I've had is internet issues because it's an online game.
Yeah.
Which I can't fix that, so.
No, there's not really much you can do about that.
No, not really.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I could hardwire it, but other than that, there's not really much I can do.
What do you mean hardwire? Are you running off Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, it's a little hard to want to wire through an asbestos house.
But just run it on the ground.
And then I can't close the doors.
What are you talking about?
Because
there's no small air gap underneath your door?
Nah. No, because all the rooms are fitted with carpet, and then the hallways fitted
That'll be
with,
fine.
and then the hallways fitted with fake fake floorboards. It's lino.
Right.
And it's lower than the rooms, so there isn't actually a gap under the doors.
Like none whatsoever.
Nah, not when they're closed.
Well, that sucks.
Plus, also, I don't really like the idea of having a cord going from the kitchen all the way through the hallway into Ray's room and my room. So
I'll just use some gaff tape.
I mean, we could, but Wi-Fi 6E is pretty strong anyway. So
Okay. Well, actually, if you're streaming and using Wi-Fi, that is pretty strong. Because I remember when when I didn't have a cat cable running
Yeah.
from the modem to my computer, I was using Wi-Fi and it was not very strong.
It is very different these days. This is actually, like, don't get me wrong, LAN cable is always going to be better, but
Yeah, always.
I have very few droppages on this computer. My phone struggles. The Xbox, fucking forget about on the Xbox. The Xbox is shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wi-Fi, it's terrible. It will be like watching YouTube videos or playing Spotify. It's always buffering. It's fucking, and like the difference between the computer and here is it's over there, and technically it should have a better signal because it's actually like side onto the door. So when the Wi-Fi comes through the hallway, because you know how Wi-Fi works, bounces through the walls.
Yeah.
And the door's open, like it will have a direct signal, but yet for some reason it struggles there versus the computer, which is in a corner surrounded by walls. Like, and yet that's perfectly fine because I get about 65, 70 megabytes per second, which is pretty good. When I do a Wi-Fi test, so a speed test. So I'm happy with it. Like I can stream and then play with these guys, and I don't really have issues. Last night was a bit of a struggle, which segue into why we got fired. So we're not talking about real life, people. We have been introduced to a game thanks to Ray, called. You can name it, Spliffy.
Yeah. Okay. Let me have a look. Dale and Dawson Stationary Supplies.
So this isn't sponsored, but I'm going to talk it like it's a sponsor. So,
I feel like there's a joke in that in the title of the game for some reason. I don't know what. Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to play The Office but virtually? You know the TV show The Office.
I have heard of it, but
wait, you've never seen The Office, really?
No, I've never seen The Office. I don't really watch a lot of TV, man.
The British one sucks, but the American one's pretty funny. But okay, so essentially, The Office, the TV show, they work in like I think it's a stationary. Well, you do a better job. Basically, all right. So the objectives are: you have a specialist. They work. They're good little workers. They are standard workers. They do their job and they have some breaks here and there, whether it be taking a shit or feeding the cat or patting the cat. Yes, you have 2 office cats in the game. And they just do their job. Then you've got slackers. Slackers are pretty much people whose sole objective is to do no work and not get caught doing no work. They can do things from setting the office bin on fire, putting viruses
fire
on
safety is
computers,
very important.
Sticking, well, you know, everyone can do this, but making sticky notes and putting them on everybody's back and unplugging the server room so they don't have to work on the computer and just shit like that. And then the manager's job is to find who the slackers are and fire them so that way he can get productivity off. So that is essentially what it is. Now, that is essentially the role of the game, but it's like Among Us in the way it works. So you walk around, you do your tasks, and you have proximity chat, so you can talk to people all over the world. And they are pretty big lobbies too. And then the boss will call a meeting, and in that meeting, he will then decide to fire someone. And he will fire someone by the word of his fellow coworkers saying that people are slacking off, or he will interrogate people and ask them what they've been doing and all that sort of stuff to try and get an idea who's a slacker and then fire them. Now, the first person who gets fired turns into a janitor, and you can change all these settings, so it's not the case in all cases, but generally the first person fired turns into a janitor, and their job is to clean, but they can just lock people indoors and just fuck around and just be a nuisance, and they can't be fired. Yeah, so as you can imagine, it's pretty chaotic, and Australia servers have been so far probably the most chaotic and the most racist.
I'm pretty sure that's a global thing.
Yeah, that got pretty. We played last night, and Ray got fired because she was a girl. They literally said that.
Stock standard.
And then everyone else got fired for like a whole heap of stupid reasons. Because I wasn't even a slacker, and I was just not doing anything. I was just sitting in the back room, just smoking a cigarette, just laughing at everybody.
I was a specialist slacking off. I was playing Minesweeper.
Yeah.
I was playing.
They fired
I was playing.
you.
Yeah, I know they fired me. I was playing Snake, Minesweeper. I had Paint open, and then I started going to other people's computers and started playing those games on their computers.
I started like stealing everybody's mice and throwing them in the bin and then emptying the bin, so everyone had to order more mice. And then,
no!
And then there was one game where I was a slacker finally, because I've only been a slacker once, which sucks because like I really wanted to be one, and I set the bin on fire. And Ray was like next to me, and I just walked past her, set the bin on fire, walked away. And then I went and grabbed the fire extinguisher to make it look like I was going to put it out, but someone else beat me to it. Then immediately after doing that, I took all the fire extinguishers outside the building and I dumped them in an alleyway. And the manager walked past me. He was surrounded by 5 fire extinguishers and was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just doing the annual fire extinguisher inspection, sir." And he's like, "Oh, okay, carry on." And he didn't realize, he had no idea that I was a slacker until Ray dobbed me in. And then I got fired, and it glitched out on me because I got fired while I was trying to learn how to do emotes, because I didn't know how to do emotes in the game. And so when I got fired and became a ghost, I was stuck in the emote menu. I couldn't look around, I couldn't do anything. Yeah, I was absolutely stuffed, so I had to leave the game. It's so much fun. And the graphics rise looks kind of like Roblox. So it's very blocky.
Oh yeah, like I don't care about the graphics. The graphics are great for what they are. It's a dumb little game.
It's just so fun. And like there was a one game the other day that we had, and I was messaging the manager, like emailing him, like being provocative. And he was responding back and just playing along with it. I thought that was fucking funny as. I was just shit staring him. It was funny.
The other night, I was the janitor, and I went around. I locked every single room, and then when we had a meeting, I locked both exits so no one could leave the meeting room. It's a lot of fun if you like messing with people.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend it if you sort of like giving a little bit of if you like being a nuisance to people. Then I would highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun.
It is so much fun. It is.
Regardless of whether you're a worker or a slacker, it doesn't matter. It's just a lot of fun.
I reckon that that one person that was playing as an Indian character was absolutely hilarious when we're all in the meeting. We're sitting in a seat, and she just comes running and goes, "Sorry, I'm late. I was making curry." It was just like, what the fuck? It's out of the blue. And like, that was the only time where it felt like we're actually at work, like in an office situation.
This feels just like
this feels like a job.
Yeah.
It was just so funny. But yeah, highly recommend it. It's not very expensive. It's like $11 on Steam right now.
Like 12 Australian dollars.
Well, 12 Australian dollars. But yeah, definitely recommend playing it. It's so much fun. Had a blast. It's probably going to be our new regular game, I think.
It would be like the new Among Us for the
Yeah,
next,
but
I don't know,
better.
6 months.
I think Among Us
Yeah.
would be better if it had proximity chat, but then the problem is it's a kids game. This is not a kids game. Do not
No,
let your
definitely
children.
not.
Do not let your
It's
children
not a
play
kids
this
game.
game. All right.
Among Us. I don't know what happened with Among. I don't want to talk about Among Us. Anyway, but yeah, this is definitely not a kids game. Among Us
Nah.
is more of a kids game.
Yeah.
This is not a kids game.
Do not let your kids play that game. From all of us that play it, I say this again. Do not let your kids play this game. They, one, will be exposed to sexual harassment.
No,
Two,
let's
they'll be exposed to violence.
just don't do it. just don't do it. All right.
It is not a
Just
place
don't
for
do it.
children. It's not even a place for the faint-hearted adult either, because you will probably get upset because people will be saying horrible things. But if you don't care about stuff, it's a lot of fun. And you gotta take everything said in that game as a grain of salt. People don't actually talk like that normally. It's just because it's the type.
It's just because it's a game.
It's a game.
Everyone knows that it's just a game. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's the type of game where you can role play as the most extreme, horrible worker you can ever be. And to be honest, it's also good training grounds for people dealing with people like that as well in real life, because everybody's had those workers they've worked with that are just really out of the blue, that just has some opinions that you really don't agree with or don't want to be caught anywhere near around while they're voicing it. So,
yeah.
So,
I know what you mean.
So definitely do not let your children play the game. 18 and over, 100%. And even an 18-year-old, I would probably think that's not a game for them either.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of older people that play it, so you won't fit in. So talk about those mics that you bought, because you ended up buying extra.
I did. So I'm going to pick them up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I won't pick them up today. But essentially, I bought a microphone, and it is the worst sounding microphone in my arsenal. It is the worst sounding microphone that you guys have ever heard.
Yeah.
And so I decided I want to buy 3 more and make a drum pack with them. Would you like to hear what it sounds like? Have I shown you what it sounds? Have I shown stream what it sounds like?
You've shown me what it sounds like, but you haven't shown stream. Yeah.
Okay. Well, give me a moment.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes.
So I just want everyone to remember what this sounds like, and then I'm going to switch over. So this is the new microphone sound that I have. Hopefully it's okay. What do you think?
I think it sounds like crap.
Yeah. It was like it's $20 at Jcast. I thought I have to know how bad this sounds. The frequency response of this microphone is 50 hertz to 13 kilohertz. That's high fidelity from 100 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It will work for drums though, won't it?
I think so, because it's a dynamic microphone, and usually drums aren't super sharp like a condenser microphone. The other thing is that I reckon this microphone will excel on electric guitar.
Yeah.
Because it has like a ribbon microphone sound quality to it, which doesn't have a lot of high. It basically sounds like this is what a lot of high quality ribbon microphones sound like.
Yeah.
Ironically enough. But I reckon this microphone will excel at electric guitar, which is one of the reasons why I bought it as well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also just really funny to me.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've only got 2, Behringer and then this one. So I don't think I will ever buy another one, unless this dies for whatever reason. The reason,
well, if you don't need to.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't need to. And like, because I also like people with podcasts, they always like go for the Shure. And
The Shure SM7B, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand either.
To be honest, it's not any better than this. This sounds fine.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's the Shure SM7B. It's literally it's a mic with a reputation. That's the reason
Yeah.
why a lot of people
Yeah.
buy it. And the thing is that once you actually get your hands on this microphone, I actually own one of them.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite microphone. It's great for when you're screaming into a microphone because then it comes out as a usable volume.
Yeah.
But this microphone is so quiet that the SM7B is so quiet. You need an audio compressor to actually make the damn thing usable, which is why it's not my favorite.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think people, but they use it in podcast format, and I don't think it's designed for podcast format either. Because like
It is it's not well, okay, so I'll let you finish, sorry.
um, like you see the big podcasts, like why have I forgotten his name?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan uses it. H3 uses it. What's fucking trash taste use it. Like all of them use it, but like, and even some people I know who do podcasts or even just gaming use it for gaming, which I think is like, why would you spend $800 on a microphone for just Twitch streaming? Like,
Yeah.
you don't need it. You like even a HyperX microphone is fine as long as you like muck around with the settings and stuff. You can any microphone sounds good. I just don't. Yeah.
One of the reasons that a lot of podcasts use it is because an SM7B, because of how stiff the diaphragm is.
Yeah.
So the whole low volume output it's actually part of a design. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. So the reason why it's super quiet is because the SM7B, you spend $800 on the microphone, but you'd end up saving thousands on acoustic treatment.
Okay.
Because generally with that microphone, you turn it up to a usable level, you compress the ever living crap out of it, and you don't pick up the sound of your voice echoing off of the walls and
Yeah.
reverberating off of the walls, and that's essentially the design of the SM7B. So in a way, yes, it is designed for it's designed for podcasts and voiceovers, but my problem is that I don't understand why people who are just getting into streaming spending $800 on a microphone when they're just getting started.
Yeah.
Like, get something
I
decent.
agree. Like, I bought this setup for streaming, and even Ray has a very actually Ray's streaming setup is because of mine. This microphone is because I own. She got hers because I own this one, and hers is the base model Yeti, which is the exact same as this. The only reason why I got this one is because I'm a loud individual, and if you have a look, it's got a gain meter, so I can visually see. I can visually see how bad my gain is and whether I'm blowing out the microphone live, so I don't have to have software open because I can see it live. So I can adjust my gain according to my voice, depending how loud I am or anything like that. Its frequency range is a little bit better than the base model, but not noticeable. You won't notice it.
Yeah.
So that's why I got this one, is because of that functionality, the LED on it. But Ray didn't need that because her voice is stable. Mine's all over the fucking place. So that's the reason why. And then my webcam is just a base Logitech 7, doesn't even do 1080, it's 720. You don't need crazy webcam quality. I mean, it would be nice, but you don't need it. Not really.
The microphone that I'm using right now, I've switched over to another microphone. I'm not sure if you noticed.
No,
I would argue it has a pretty similar sound to the SM7B, but it is literally 1/8 of the price.
What is it?
The microphone that I'm it's a Lewitt MPT 250. A Lewitt MTP 250 DM. It's a $100 microphone, and I'd say it has like a very similar sonic characteristic to the SM7B. And like if you don't have a webcam, like who cares?
How do you spell Lewitt?
Lewitt.
Found it. Yeah, it's fuck all price compared to bloody
$800. Yeah,
yeah. And it sounds just as fine. Have you got a windshield
um,
on yours or you don't?
I do,
You do, yeah.
I do.
But you can buy it from Bunnings.
Yeah, even a bloody sock will do.
Yeah, well that's it.
A
This
thick woolly sock
windshield
will do the
doesn't
trick.
come with a Yeti. This is a windshield out from my Behringer, but it fits on there.
I'm just actually curious. I'll do it after stream. So what I might
show
even do
you.
next week. What we might even do next week, because I'm worried I might
Yeah.
accidentally wipe the drives off my computer too early. What we can do next week is we can literally go around and compare my SM7B to a whole bunch of other microphones that I have, and we can literally just make a comparison. So
Because
just for
I don't use my Behringer because one's Behringer is shit.
yeah, well that's just because it's Behringer.
I also don't use it because I need to use it's also Behringer, but I have to use this thing as well to get it to work.
Yeah, that's an audio interface.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I went for this, because I don't want to have an audio interface. Because I mean, yeah, they're really handy. I would not recommend this, but it's shit. I bought it because I paid like $50 for the whole bundle. It came with that. It came with this. And it came with the stand that this microphone's mounted on. And it came with the microphone as well, which I'll show you what it looks like. The Behringer piece of crap, which doesn't sound bad, but it is shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Behringer.
Yeah. That's it there.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's actually not Behringer. Actually, it's Volamart.
Volamart. Never heard of him.
Never heard of it, but yeah, this sock is actually for this.
Oh, yeah.
I used to use it, but the quality of this just outbeats this by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is that in that Yeti is an inbuilt audio interface anyway. So
exactly, yeah, it's an all-in-one.
Yeah, to me, like you might think of that as like a great thing. I think of it as shooting myself in the foot because I like to change microphones every now and then because I think it's fun. Speaking of which, I'm going to quickly change back.
And there's nothing wrong with like you play to I know I sound off in the distance.
Yeah, you are.
You play to what you like.
Yeah.
Your setup is to the way what I like and what you like are two different things.
Yes.
So because I do a lot of Space Sim, especially now that I play Star Citizen a lot, which Spliffy doesn't understand why I do, but anyway.
No, I don't understand why you play Star Citizen because like the amount of times I've heard you complain about that game. Like this game did this and I died and I lost all this money. It's like, well,
it's a love-hate relationship. It's a love-hate relationship. Mind you,
it sounds like a Stockholm syndrome relationship.
Yeah, the thing is with Star Citizen is I do things that I'm starting to figure out the things and the way I was playing wasn't the most safest way and enjoyable way of playing it. Now that I've figured out how to enjoy myself and do things properly, I'm actually not running into that issue. Like I played this weekend, I played like 3-4 hours on it and didn't die once. I even got in like doing some ship bounties with my cutter, which is not a ship-to-ship fighter like at all. Like I nearly died. But I've now got the hang of it, the mechanics and stuff like that I'm actually enjoying it for a lot better now. So yeah, it would be better with friends. I'm trying really hard to get some people in the community to play with because it'd be kind of cool to like do missions of like troops and stuff like that, kind of like what we do in Armor. Just drop down in a spaceship and raid a bunker. But I do know that I have serious limitations of flying because I run this, and this is great. Like for beginning aviation, space, all that. Excellent cheap budget option. I got the full HOTAS setup, so I've got the joystick, and then I've got um the throttle quadrant there, and then on my feet I've got the rudder pedals. But I'm having the throttle and the throttle's great. I don't have issues with the throttle at all. The rudder pedals are too loose. They need to be firmer, and they're sticky.
Can you do that yourself?
Like unsticky them?
No, I mean like are you able to adjust any of it yourself?
No, not really on the pedals. They're kind of adjusted as best as I can. I've lubricated them as best as I can. They're just not good quality pedals.
Right.
And my joystick is pretty old. Like all these are really old now. And it's gotten to the stage where I'm starting to get a lot of drift. Like it'll be like stationary like that, and my ship is actually moving on its own, so it's getting a bit of drift.
Oh,
because
no.
they use Hall effect sensors, but the gimbals wear out in them, and it's starting to wear out to the point where now I'm fighting the ship to keep it straight because I'm fighting the drift. I've tried playing around with dead zones and stuff like that, but it's not really working. So I will need to upgrade this unit, which is fine. These are entry level. I've always been planning to upgrade because my race sim setup with the Thrustmaster Leather Edition, hands down best, bang for buck. I am never getting rid of that thing, and it will last a lifetime. That thing is incredibly fun. But my aerospace, space, combat, plane stuff, I would like something a little bit better in the future, especially with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming out. I would love to get like a yoke system as well as my HOTAS system. And I would also maybe combine with my HOTAS system have a stick on stick, so that's 2 joysticks for space flight, because space flight's three dimensional. It's actually better to fly with 2 joysticks than it is to fly with a throttle quadrant and a joystick. But I also play like Armor, and I play DCS, so I need a HOTAS for that. And yeah, I have a very different use case scenario to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So, and I do FPS as well, so I need space on my bench to be able to use my keyboard and mouse. So, I'll buy some proper mounts for my HOTAS stuff. And then that was off the table, and I have more room for my keyboard and mouse. And it's fine, like they're both on the desk, but they do take up a lot of real estate. And then I'll get the first thing I'm getting is a new monitor. I'm going to get a 32-inch monitor, so it's nice and big, and then my 27 is going to be to the side, so it'll kind of look like a cockpit, so it's going to wrap around for me.
Oh, you're going to do one of those setups, are you?
Yeah, well, originally I wanted to get a 34 ultra wide, have that directly in front of me, and then have the 27-inch on top angled down. But it'll be too tall. I'll end up with a sore neck looking up. Yeah, my table's not big enough because I've only got a 1500 wide table versus 1800 like Ray's. So I don't have the real estate to have a 34 and then the 27th on the side. It just won't physically fit in my little alcove that I've got here. So it's just all these little things for my use case scenario I need to sort of figure out. But yeah. But I'm getting there. It just takes time, that's all. So, but anyway, our podcast is coming to an end. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Next week, I think I'd like to sort of do a comparison of the SM7B to a whole bunch of other microphones that I have. So, a bit more
really
informed
cool.
decision on what microphone you might. Because I can have 4 microphones at any given time going.
You should set up obviously you don't want to view your face or anything, but you should have a little webcam facing on the table, and that way you can actually show them. Or send pictures to me.
I will send you a picture.
Yeah, send me pictures of each microphone, and then I'll put it up on
the
browser, and then that way we can see it.
I'll take a picture of it. I'll put an edit on it. So I'll just put I'll just whack a this is what the microphone name is, and then you can sort of I can just say what microphone it is. You can pull up a picture because I'll label it. I'll label the picture what it is on the actual picture itself.
Your audio interface, is that in your rack? Because you have a audio.
No.
Rack. It's not.
No, my audio interface is sitting on my desk.
Ah, okay.
It's a little Focusrite Scarlett 2nd generation 6i6. So I've got a 4, or technically a 6-channel console plugged into 6-channel console plugged into that, and that's just coming out of stereo. So that way I can have 4 microphones plugged into one input on my audio interface and have 3 other inputs available.
Yeah. Oh,
if I so choose.
Well, anyways, we are going to raid into an old friend that I haven't spoken to in a while, so because we've just been busy. Never mind.
What do they just go? They just stop?
Nah, I just haven't been on when he's been on, really. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're raiding into Just Richard.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, thank you everybody, ladies and gentlemen and others. I hope you have a good night and day, depending where you are in the world. And we will catch you next time. See ya.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.